an astonishing range of industries interested in blockchain. Virtually any industry that values trust can benefit from blockchain. Blockchain is essentially the new trust infrastructure. It moves us from a world of subjective trust to a world of automated trust and guaranteed execution. So instead of relying on intermediaries to provide trust in different situations, in different industries, content creators or service providers or resource providers can directly access and interact with their consumers, with their customers. Which industry doesn't fall into that pattern? Early on, we saw the financial industry get very interested in this technology. I think it was partly because they were a little concerned about disintermediation, but also I think they recognized that there would be tokenization of many different kinds of assets. There would be the creation of natively digital assets like cryptocurrencies, like crypto equities, crypto bonds, asset-backed tokens where the assets are precious metals or diamonds or real estate or money itself sitting in banks. So the financial industry jumped in pretty quickly, and it didn't hurt that the first use of blockchain was a cryptocurrency, essentially smack dab in the middle of the financial space. But banks are also using it to build more efficient systems, to build shared sources of truth, say for reference data, etc. Those industries are getting interested in the crypto assets. So we have instances of major banks setting up trading desks for different kinds of crypto assets. But they're also interested in using it as infrastructure, where you may no longer need a centralized depository for different kinds of securities. You could have a body of different actors in the financial industry that are custodians of a protocol, but they don't actually have to be custodians of the physical assets themselves, because a much more robust system is a decentralized system where there are copies of all the different nodes on the network and everybody owns it and nobody really singularly controls it. But the protocol that all the different counterparties have agreed on is what's in control. Other industries like the music industry, like journalism, where you have these content creators that can directly access their consumers, they're set to benefit quite dramatically. Ujo music platform has over 1,000 artists now in the creators portal who have uploaded their content, who have attached usage policies for streaming, for public performance, for derivative works, for synchronization. And you don't need a big record company in the middle. I think artists in the music industry on average capture about 11 or 12% of the value in the industry, and you know, those big record companies are sucking up 70 or so percent. We can replace those record companies with smart contracts on the Ethereum platform, and there will still be different kinds of intermediaries. There'll be promoters, curators, people who write blogs, etc. They can participate in that value flow, in that value chain, but they can't get to a commanding position where they're extracting enormous rents just because of their intermediary role in the situation. So the value that they extract should be commensurate with the value that they're adding to that flow, and it should create a better world for artists of different varieties. With respect to journalism, it's content creation, but it's even more important, it's ethics. So the journalism industry has been gutted over the last couple decades, where technology has gotten too powerful and the industry hasn't really been able to keep up. Technology to enable private equity firms and hedge funds and in other kinds of holding companies to buy up properties, local newspapers, radio stations, TV stations, etc., and then just pump all the same content through those channels with no regard for the local context. That plus this the social media, social networking space that is treating us as products and turning everything into a hyper-stimulated binary discussion where there is really no subtlety in how facts of situations or news is presented. That has turned into a clickbait-driven commercial nightmare. Really, it's not about telling the truth. It's not about subtle narrative at all. It's unethical. And so there's a platform that we're involved with called Civil, which is working to bring content directly to the consumer without that commercial intermediary in the middle, sucking up all the value, and filtering the information, really. And it enables ethics to be brought to bear, again, in journalism by essentially creating a constitution, codes of conduct, enabling newsrooms to form, to define who their journalists are, to create a charter by which they operate, and to post essentially a security bond, a stake on the platform, pledging that they will act ethically. If they break that pledge in some way, their readership, their listenership can call them to task, can challenge their stake, and potentially have them bumped off the platform.